All right. So, I want to do analysis here. Long form analysis before I actually record the video for the main channel. I want to talk about this in a little bit more detail. So, let's get the main thing out of the way. This patch and not the patch changes, the universal changes, right, are going to benefit some weapons more than others. Right? That's just how it works. So, this is primarily a thing to benefit very short-range weapons, right? Brella probably benefits too. I low-key think it's the opposite. Because Brella is going to be standing and shooting and shielding a lot. Where it's going to be easier to hit, because in human form it's easier to hit in close range. Like, I guess if you shield swim, that's a little easier to deal with. But I think weapons that stay in human form longer are, like, not benefiting from this change. So I think things like Splatlings, right? I think Brellas, Blasters, slower buckets, stuff like that. Weapons like Chargers that can go into squid form quickly, Shooters, Dualies, stuff like that, will probably benefit more from these changes. Because they have faster access to squid form. Brella doesn't change your hidden behind the big umbrella. Yes, the notoriously consistent Brella shield, right? But no, you have to shoot and shield in between your Brella shields, right? When you do that, you're very easy to hit. So if you're standing there and you're doing your user Brella thing and you're shooting shielding, right? Then every time your shield is dropped, you're easier target. That's why I feel it's a change. Because Brella is always going to be, like, in close range. Especially since the damage changes made it even closer range. Yeah, Machine is, like, not shooting in general. Yeah, I mean, I think Tent can benefit a ton. Because Tent will be, like, launching its shield and swimming in its shield instead of standing now. And it's going to be harder to, like, kill it through the shield because its hitbox is smaller. Like, I'm very curious about Tent. Right? Okay. Flow aura, or flow state, right, feels like compensation in some ways. Right? So, I thought it nerfed Brella, right? Flow state gives you mobility that Brella really relies on. And it procs through assists and painting. Splatlings benefit the most from all of these buffs. Splatlings in flow state get a lot out of this. Blasters have a way to proc their accuracy. When they're on kill streaks, they will get accurate. You see what I'm getting at, right? Now, obviously, these also affect short-range stuff heavily. Like, Dualies and Shooters benefit a lot from this. But I think this is also made to compensate for some of the things that get hurt by the existence of the hitbox changes, right? Yeah, exactly. Flow paints under you. That's a good point. Why would they add that, right? Why would they add that ability? They added that ability for slow weapons. If you kill somebody with the 96, if you kill somebody with a dynamo roller, like any weapon that doesn't paint under itself well, it paints and you get to move faster. Right? That feels very tailored for specific weapons. So let's talk about something else next, because Moonlight is already talking about it privately, and I want to bring this up publicly. So let's talk about Chargers, right? Let's talk about Charger punishing. Is Charger worse or not? Here's the thing. I think what this change does is Charger matchups are more extreme. Okay? Charger matchup is more extreme. Small weapons, mobile weapons, equals harder. Slow whips equals easier to punish. Right? So if you're fighting S-Blast, Slosher, etc., easier time to hit. If you're fighting Shooters, harder to hit. Right? Does that make sense? So if you're a leader, you are holding your charge and you wait for a slow weapon to pop out. They get stuck in human form, and you have an easier shot. You have like a pencil hitbox on them, I'm guessing, right? Somewhere around there. But if they're swimming around, right? If they're swimming around, then they're going to be easier to avoid you, right? It's going to be harder. So when you're playing Charger against slow weapons, the timing window is much more important. Going for shots on squid form is riskier. But if you try to punish someone shooting in the open, it will be easier. Does that make sense, right? Now, the health bar changes are just quality of life to me. I don't think they are actually going to change anything, right? I think they're just normal, right? So the health bar stuff doesn't really change anything for me. I think it's nice. I just don't think it like dramatically changes the game in any way, right? Same for the stealth jump change, right? It's not quality of life, but I don't think it's going to change the game, right? I think that, you know, the jump change is just going to hurt cooler QSJing around a bit, which is good, right? That's fine. Yeah, we'll have to do a video on Dynamo. Did Dynamo get saved? Okay. So, when we get to the patch changes, right? Okay, so first, let me be a little doomer brained. I'm sorry. I high key think L3 is going to be worse. Okay? Now, look, I like the changes for L3. I think they're good changes. L3 paints way too much. This is an overall charger reference since some chargers were already killing you in the open when you're shooting away. I mean, kind of. I think it just depends on the matchups. Like, I think it's good into the traditional midline stuff. Like, if this patch comes out and short range is better and midlines get, like, toned back, right, and we see less of them, then yeah, Charger's definitely worse. If double midline is still good, though, and that's still the majority of comps, then, like, I feel like it's kind of the same. Because it'll be very good into those options. But I think it means if you fight Charger, you have more counter pick changes. Also, yeah, I think 30 seconds on flow change is maximum. Like, if you continue procking it, I think it's max at 30 seconds. I don't think you get it for that amount of time. Actually, never mind. The site directly contradicts it. Okay. Blaster change. If a short range meta happens, this weapon will be good. Because this weapon's already pretty good. Its main competition got nerfed, and it got buffed. And it benefits a ton from flow state, because Blaster has the worst jump RNG out of all the blasters. This one has the worst one, and it gets a tool to compensate for it, right? That's huge. That is extremely huge for this weapon. But that depends. Is short range going to be meta? If it's not, I mean, I think this is still good, but I don't think it'd be like a meta pick. Dude, if you're in my chat, can you please put a message in on what H3 should get change-wise? Because, like... This almost feels a little insulting. Like... Oh, come on. Like, it lines up with Pro, but, like, could we have done, like... Did we forget something under it? Like... I'm glad it does 90 in 2 shots, but I feel like it should have had more. Should have gotten more. I trust dude, because dude's been talking about this weapon being buffed for forever. He's been waiting for this for a ton. Yeah, Roller is cool. Tetra's going to be really interesting, because it also gets a slider buff. So it's both. Like, the slider change benefits Tetra a lot, and it has faster shots. So I think Tetra could be very interesting. They want to see if it performs better with a big projectile. I mean, is it getting changed? Was it specified that it was one of the changes? I thought it was L3 that they said, or Junior. Wait, what is Spra Shooters? Wait, what is the what is this one? Oh wait, they changed it here. Oh, Splatter Shot, okay. Would that extend to H3? Because H3 is mid-range. These are short-range. So would it apply to H3? Because this makes me indicate, right? This makes me indicate that, like, look, this is much easier at spray shooter range. This is a bit easier at, like, shooter range, right? So, isn't that it? Wouldn't that mean mid-range gets nothing? Because this seems like that's the smallest change, right? Anything above a splatter shot probably doesn't proc, right? Or does this mean, like, everything between splatter shot and E-liter gets it? Every weapon gets a buff. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's talk S-Blast nerf. Okay, so this isn't even S-Blast, this is S-Blast. So short-range weapons travel slower and have a smaller explosion radius by a lot. 11% is a lot. I think this makes it so that the short-range shot is like old Range Blaster's shot, if I'm remembering it correctly. Maybe a little bit better, right? But it's way worse than Luna and Clash now. It's not comparable to those weapons. It is now comfortably worse than both of those options. Also, Booyah is 10 more expensive on it. I think that S-Blast is still going to be good, but I don't think it's going to be meta. S-Blast still makes sense for a lot of weapons, right? Short-range weapons are getting much bigger projectile, long-range weapons get a slightly bigger one. Okay. That makes sense, thank you. Right? So, I think S-Blast will be fine. S-Blast compensates for AoE in a way not a lot of other weapons do. Though they did add one, and we'll get to that, right? That's a very important change. And the kit is still insane. So I feel like S-Blast will now be like a normal midline. I think it's going to be on the level of like Mint Decapitator, right? Where it's good, but you might have to be like a little more specialized into it. Now, when it comes to AoE though, the bigger clash for this is will something replace it? And in the Slayer slot, the answer is no. In the support slot, we have a new candidate. Dynamo is now actual support competition. There is a real chance Dynamo will end up being a viable cooler option. Now, I don't know what you pair with Dynamo, is my hard part, right? Because you don't want to pair with Pen. Oh, it's, never mind, I know the answer. Holy shit, never mind. Never mind. I know who Dynamo's for. Do you guys know what backliner Dynamo is for? Anyone want to take a guess? What Dynamo's good for? That won't take up short range paint while painting a long time and covering the AoE? Anyone want to take a guess what pairs best with Dynamo? It's Bow. It's Bow. Bow is what you pair with it. Bow is the pair. Bow paints well, but not in Dynamo's range. Bow's AoE can combo off of Dynamo's AoE. Bow paints a lot for Dynamo. Bow Dynamo. And that goes for Wellstring too. Yes. Wellstring too. Same thing. Not as strong, but still good. Wow. Dynamo Bow. It makes too much sense. Dynamo Leader might be too slow. Because you're playing cooler Dynamo, right? That's my argument. I don't think you want Gold Dynamo or Stars Dynamo. Those kits are so much worse. if it gets cooler, which with this change it should get cooler, right? I feel like you want the cooler one. ZF got buffed, yeah, but ZF is slow. Bo, on the other hand, is not. Bo is much faster. Bo is much more flexible. Interesting. It would be Tac Dynamo and Chump Bow together. Maybe Jetpack Bow on other modes. Can we talk about this patch? Fucks Explosher? Yeah, Explo is definitely worse. But Explo is already dead in the grave anyway, so whatever. I don't even care that much. We'll see if it gets changed later. Now, the other cooler option that's interesting is Try. We also have to talk about Try, right? Because this is only 10 points. But I need you guys to understand, this is the only problem with Try right now. Try is amazing outside of this. This is like the only weapon. Like the only problem this weapon had. Now, Try was used a little bit with Leader in Area Cup, for those who don't remember. Right? We saw it with Leader a few times. So the idea around that is that Try covers AoE for the Charger, but it's also anti-rushdown. It makes it harder to run at the Leader. It also makes counterpicking the Leader harder. Say you want to take the Leader to Urchin or Flounder. You are now taking a Tri-Slosher to Urchin or Flounder, right? That's the idea behind that weapon pair. That weapon pair is now easier to run, because the main problem with that is your cooler output is very low, and you don't run double cooler. Now, you get more coolers. So, the idea was like Try, Leader, and Forge, right? Something like that. So we could still see something like that going forward. Because now S-Blast is nerfed, short range is more powerful. So Forge, which is good at checking short range, will probably be stronger. Try, which is good at checking short range, will probably be stronger, right? So I could see like the Forge, Try, Leader stuff being much more popular. Red Pen for Tri-Slosher. I think if Red Pen would be brought back with anything, it'd be brought back with this. But like, here's the crazy thing I can say, right? Why would you play Red Pen over Incline Tri-Stringer? I love that sentence so much. It's so funny. But legit, why? Red Pen paints so much worse. It gets so much less special output. It has so much less uptime. And it doesn't have AoE. Is that worth the trade-offs that Pencil has? When it's for rain? I don't think so. Because, like, okay, I'm going to boot up the game. I need to talk about this with Bo a bit, because I did a video on Bo. But we need to talk about Bo a little bit more. We need to talk about Bo. Right? Because I need to get across what Bo does very well, right? My Switch needs to turn on, right? We need to show this, right? Let's get in the game, right? Let's take a second, and let's show off what Bo does so well in his role, right? Because I didn't even really cover this effectively in my video, I feel. Okay. Right? So when you pick this weapon, okay, I want y'all to know that I have no saber right now, okay? I have no saber. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and a half. Okay? 11 and a half shots, right? And that's all full charges. Partials use less. And you have no whiting frames. That's Sprinkler, right? You recover instantly. That's the difference. That, and you have a special that when your tank runs out, does this. And your tank is back. What makes this so strong at this roll is that it just does this forever. Its AoE isn't crazy, but you're always going to deal with it. It will never stop shooting at you. It's just going to keep shooting at you over and over and over and over and over and over and over. Right? Yeah, and like TKF, the bow player, stacks main saber with this anyway, even though it looks like it doesn't need it. And the idea is that this weapon never spends time recovering its ink. It is just permanently shooting somebody, right? So it can't kill as well as a leader, but it's constantly shooting someone, constantly shooting someone, constantly painting, constantly getting a lot of specials, right? That's what it does. Red pen can't do that. It can't do any of that. It just doesn't have the same properties. That's the difference. That's why I can comfortably say that I don't think red pen is going to go anywhere, right? Because this is just too much better at it. Okay. It's harder to hit people with Tri-Stringer. Yeah, but Tri-Stringer is just trying to spray AoE. It's just trying to get general damage, and it's still going to be easy at doing that. Like, it'll be harder to one-shot someone in squid form. Actually, easier to one-shot them in human form, which is very helpful for this weapon. But, like, Tri-Stringer just needs to put bolts in, like, areas of the map more than anything else. Like, it's not really responsible for fully killing. Expo on our team can play Dynamo? I mean, maybe. We have to see when it comes out, right? Like, it'd be really funny if these paint changes are, like, by 3%. By 3%. Alright, well... This drops tomorrow, not today. Which is good. My team has a whole day to make an analysis on this, because we gotta. Okay. Okay. What else? What else? So, let's talk theoretical again, okay? This patch is a big gamble right here. They are walking a very fine line, and I think the devs know it, right? Because I think these changes weren't done in a vacuum, and they talked about it a little bit, right? But I don't think this is just about the motion control stuff, right? These changes benefit short range and mobile weapons. Short range and mobile weapons have been notoriously hard to stack together in a team comp for the past 2 years, right? That's just factual information. Look at the metagame. 2x short range has been notoriously difficult to stack. And when it has been stacked, do you know what it's been doing? It's been spamming Zuka, and spamming Crab, and spamming Hammer, and spamming a special, right? We haven't had much short range be good for its ability to fight the opponent. Even stuff like Dapple, right? Part of the benefit, 170 cooler, right? It's very hard for short range weapons to be good in this game off the merit of being able to fight the opponent. That has been a problem for 2 years, right? Even 52, right? 52, this overtuned, stupid-ass gun, has been unable to find a way to be good in this game because of that, right? That's an overall problem to look at. I think the next balance patch will be in March, when the new season comes out. That would be my guess, right? Okay. So, these changes to me are a gamble. They are trying to adjust midlines without nerfing them, but in this case, they're doing it via game changes. I think the desired outcome is that 2x midline is still good, but other comps are easier to run, so that it does not feel as necessary to have this level of fighting power on your midline weapon specifically. You can balance it out. Right? I think that's the overall idea behind it. Now, will this actually work is a whole other question. There could be a lot of potential side effects to this patch that we can't think of, right? I would not say power creeping is one of them, right? Yeah, I know assist count, so point sensor weapons will benefit a lot from it for sure, right? I mean, I think. Here's what I think, right? First off, let me get a disappointment I have out of the way. Though I understand it a little bit more, I still wish we got more buffs. I wish we had more stuff like this. This was cool and I wanted more of it. But I understand it given they're literally changing every weapon in this patch. Right? I get it. Can we shorthand call it flow? Because I don't want to call it aura. I fear aura has already caught on a little bit too much. Like, I don't want to say you're too late and it's like 6 a.m. PST, the day the thing came out, but we might be too late. I think aura is already caught on. What I do like about this patch, right? What I do like is I feel like the power level of the game is higher, right? I think, flow state and the changes they're doing alongside it are generally a small power boost across the board. I think that will feel more impactful. I think that main weapons will be a little stronger because of this. Because none of these mechanics really benefit specials unless the specials give you a kill streak that you use with your main weapon, right? So I like that this is buffing main weapon specifically, right? This feels like a good way to balance main weapon power and special weapon power. And I've complained about that a lot, right? So I like this change in terms of the ability to do that, I like that as an idea for it. Okay. I mean, Pro got a 190 crab, but Pro didn't really need a nerf here, I think. I think Pro is like... If anything, it's weapons like Pro that I think we might see a lot more of, right? Weapons that have mid-range fighting power, but are a little bit more back and forth. Like, because here's the thing, right? If we're compensating the midline stuff, you need weapons that still keep up fighting power, that still check short range, but are a little bit more flexible than the current set of midlines we have right now. Pro is very emblematic of that, right? It has Booyah and Crab as fighting tools. It has very high damage output. It has the ability to bully a lot of these short-range weapons. Like, it still keeps up a lot. And before, the problem with Pro has been that it doesn't fight as well as like an S-Blast or a Bucket. And it still has that problem, but now there's more punishment for stacking those weapons. Like, the mobility of short-range weapons is going to be a little more important. Stuff like that is going to be changed in a way that will make double midline harder to run. Now, double midline might still be the best comp, right? In fact, I think it probably will be. I still think Pencil, double midline, and a support will probably be the best comp in the game still. I don't think that'll change. It might be like S-Blast Bucket still, but it might be like Bucket Min or something like that. I don't know, right? I think it'll still be the best. But I think the comps right under it, if you run like Forge Vimy, right? Forge Vimy, before the patch, I would say couldn't fight well enough. Now I think it's much easier to argue to run something like this. What's the biggest winner of the patch? I mean, there's one candidate for biggest winner of the patch by a mile. It's Dynamo. Right? Like, look at these changes. Nothing else got changes like this. Dynamo is the main benefactor. If Dynamo slots into bow comps, it will be very good in zones. And like, dude, it's so about time. It's taken so long for Dynamo to get this. When I'm playing the game casually, that's what I'm playing, dude. I'm gonna be playing Dynamo Roller. I'm gonna be enjoying the changes. Gonna make a new build, and I'm gonna have fun using a functioning Dynamo, hopefully. Let's not jinx it, right? It's been so long. Is Bucket the best midline now? I think yes. I think Slosher is the #1 midline in the game right now, pretty handily. I'm very confident in that. Like, S-Blast and Bucket were already kind of close to each other, so I feel like Bucket should be there. All this is very interesting. Very, very interesting. But, at the end of the day, we have to see how it plays out. We have to actually see how this plays. Because right now, all this is still theory, right? And I feel like I have a good grasp on stuff. But, yeah. Hold on. Okay, so the hit detection thing is the same across hitboxes. Does it apply to Splatoon melee? I mean, okay. If these examples are just by range value and not class, which is what it looks like, otherwise they'd probably show more classes, then yeah. Splatoon up-close hitbox will be a bit easier to hit on people standing and harder to hit on people swimming. Oh, I just realized something. Do you know what doesn't have to give a shit about this? Do you know what doesn't have to care about the hitbox changes? My smaller horizontal hitbox went boom. Nice smaller horizontal hitbox, bro. Nice smaller horizontal hitbox, bro. Oh, true. Wait, Kyo's right. This is easier to hit, though. So I guess it probably balances it out then, right? I guess it balances it out. No, actually, this is the same way it's all the other slow weapons, huh? Right? Easier to hit people, but it doesn't lose as much on being easy to hit people, but it's easier to hit. It's like the slow weapon, easier to punish thing. Like, Leader will probably farm this weapon a lot more, right? Because, like, Leader will just shoot it. Will this make Dread worse? Yeah. Yeah, and it's gonna make Dread worse. Undeniably. Because, like, This weapon's slower and doesn't have a hard time hitting people. So it's just gonna be easier to hit Dread. And then it doesn't, like, Reef as a support is weaker. I'm gonna miss the distance of the rails thing, though. I get why they did it now, but... sliding, like, really far away was kind of cool. So... it's a little sad that that's not a thing. But if it's what's needed to nerf Zones Cheese. Okay, here's another thing to talk about, right? Is Cooler weaker in this patch? My thought is like, yes, but not noticeably. Because Cooler QSJing with Stealth is worse, and Flow State overlaps with the buffs from, what's it called? Yeah. Shame the kid form hitbox is bigger behind shield. Yeah, but you can swim form in your shield now and you won't die. I feel like that's huge for 10. Because you can be way more stealthy in your shield now. Because before being in swim form when your shield made it easier to get punished. Right? It's more likely a bomb would kill you. But now your swim form hitbox is thinner. So maybe you can like swim in 10 shield and you can actually hide in it. That could be really cool. I'd assume that works. So that would be very interesting. Bad tone delivery. I was being sarcastic. Ah, I see, I see. Condition of getting flow is hard enough? Yeah, I mean, I don't think it would replace Cooler. I just think it makes it like a little... there is some overlap, admittedly. Yeah, I've seen the health bars. Aura doesn't give the best parts of Cooler. Yeah, for sure. The strongest buffs aren't there. The sentence sounds so fucking stupid. Yeah, I mean, when we're comparing Aura to Cooler... yeah, I guess it does sound a little bit silly. Wow, FLC even tweeted about the game. Let's get some criticism from FLC in here. I think the thing that offends me most about Splatoon 3's patches is the devs keep attacking degenerate playstyles that only exist because of their own failures. L3 being used to spam specials. No shit, you buffed Hammer in the dumbest way possible and all L3 can do is paint. Every single patch right to the start of the game where Machine and Splash were picked because the only competent kits on release. Machine got butchered because they gave it Fizzy Booyah and injected all the other weapons with... Splash did it because it's a shooter. Meanwhile, their insistence on leaving Burst Bomb alone has led pretty much everyone that has one, except L3, massively overperforming at one point or another. But by all means, slap S Blast with 10 points for special on the AoE nerf. I mean, yeah. L3 change is fixing something that, like, it already had. 100%. I agree. That's fair. Still like the change, though. Like, yeah, it sucks that, like, we got here, but I like that we're fixing it. I don't know. I feel like, what else are you going to do at this point? We kind of have to admit we fucked up at some point, you know? So that's fair. And the hammer buff is admittedly kind of dumb. But I still also kind of like it. In a very, very strange way. Wait, I just saw a tweet from Chase. Oh no. Yeah, they did turn up the screen shake, I think. Yeah, when you get a kill, look at the screen. Oh, you can't see. Look at the screen shake. Maybe it's the same? I don't know. And it's small, so I don't think it's that big a deal. But personally, I hate screen shake with a burning passion. I don't want it in my games. Any game that gives me the option to turn it off, I'll turn it off. So, alright, I've been informed Splatoon NA is tweeting, so I'm gonna check in case there's anything different. Might as well, right? Alright, let's see. Wait, it's called Flow Aura State in English. Wait, Aura isn't even a nickname anymore. It's not called Flow State, it's called Flow Aura State. It's officially called Aura. That's the call out. That's awesome. You know what? That fits Splatoon so well. It's officially called Flow Aura State. No, I didn't know. I didn't notice that. Is that in the EU post too? Alright. Flow Aura State will stay active. Wow. It's gonna be very interesting. Yama, thank you so much for the tier 1. I appreciate it. What is going on? I just woke up. Yeah, that's the best part. This all dropped at like 2 a.m. for US. Everyone's just waking up, and they check Twitter, and everyone's like, dude, this game has aura now. Dude, I will say, if I can get away from competitive analysis for a bit, if you're a spectator watching the game, aura has to be fucking amazing, right? Like, you're a commentator, and you see someone proc it, and you can point it out, and you know who to spectate. Like, imagine a player that has flow state active, and they get, like, a kill streak, and it's like, and it just keeps going, with some hype commentary in the background. Right? Dude, official Nintendo commentators gonna have to say flow aura state. And Omega gets a triple. He's aura farming. And the aura continues as he gets a triple again. Where's your cooler? Me in flow aura state. I don't need it. The whole team has aura. Dude, like, imagine a team of like 4 point sensor weapons. And you just farm aura for the whole team the whole game. You run a strat around it. You just use sensors so that everyone gets assists with sub-power sensors. And you get a whole team full of aura. The aura farming strategy. Aura farming strats real. That'd be awesome. Also, I have to make this Blue Sky post. about this. Here, we'll get a blue sky post up. You guys can check that out if you want. I had to tweet about the motion thing. I haven't seen anyone talk about it. Alright, I'm looking around to see if there's anything I haven't mentioned. Let's do a little bit of look-arounds. I think I've reached the part of the patch where my brain is just kind of sitting there processing. I'm just taking a second now, and like I don't even know what to say anymore. Like I really don't know what to say. 44% area increase? Yeah, not increase. Unless you mean 220, in which yes. Oh, Nolan corrected me on something. Fuck, I just realized that. Remember my sensor strat I talked about? That doesn't work. Fuck. You have to get kills to proc aura. The assist stuff only works when you have it active, so you can't just run a bunch of point sensors to get it for the team. Everyone would need to get the kills. No! My hour 2 strategy is dead! No. Damn it. No, assist just continue aura. You have to get 3 kills to proc it, I think. Alright, well... I mean, the sensor and assist stuff is good, but you have to be able to get cooler. Already. So it's good for, like, Machine. Like, Machine Neo specifically, right? Because you get Zuka and stuff to proc it, and then your assist keep it going. Machine does benefit a lot from it. And it's 210. Maybe Machine is back. It's not back. I'm lying. 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 Machine is still so dead. Spotting someone with aura gets you closer to proc your own aura. I see. Oh yeah, I also gotta add a note to my fucking QSJ video. I have to go like, so they did do the stealth jump nerf. I talked about it. Do you know how hard it is to kill multiple people with speed buffs of Machine? No, I'm kidding. Machine is so dead. I know. I know. Here, small update. 11.0 did nerf stealth jumps travel time. I'm in the air. Neat. I can't believe I made that stealth jump thing. That video came out 9 days ago, and the patch change actually happened. Like, it's not by as much, but it's still there. That is really cool. Yeah, there's people in my comments. Who's here after Nintendo listened to him? He was right. What did he see? True, true. I feel like double midline is still going to be meta. Alright. Well, I do need to script the video for the main channel pretty soon. So as much as I would love to keep streaming, I do think we gotta wrap it up somewhat soon, so... Let's open it to chat a little bit. Guys, what are your thoughts on this patch? And Moonlight will probably talk about this later. Rollers are legit broken, they swim 90% of the time. Okay, no. Rollers are going to be fine, I promise. Nolan 96 Deca with Kraken. I hate to say it, guys, but 96 is a slow weapon that's standing up. That shit is not benefiting. Aura does not stack with Kraken at all. Bucket best midline, no doubt. Yeah, I feel pretty confident. I feel pretty confident saying Bucket's best midline. Yeah. 52 about to piss you off. Hey, here's the good news about 52. 52's got that larger hitbox. When it's standing and it's trying to use its wall for cover, it's got a larger hitbox. So it does have a downside. 52 is standing more and getting shot a little bit more than other shooters. Could Aura be the S4 mechanic? I mean, I'm almost certain they want to, like, test this mechanic to see if it's good in S4. This feels like something they would transfer to the next game. Oh yeah, your hitbox in Booyah Bomb is larger. True! And in Strike! Wait, your Strike hitbox is larger! Wait, true! It's gonna be easier to kill strikes! True! No, because you're stuck in human form. Anything that has you stuck in human form is a larger hitbox. What else? Is there any other specials that affects? Oh, it affects hammer. Wait, hammer rush mode? Hammer rush mode. Yeah, oh, jetpack! No, jetpack! Jet. as well. Yeah, it affects jetpack. Probably splashdown too, a little bit. Don't know about caster. Actually, no. Caster squid forms after it hits the wall. Caster's better. I guess it depends what option you pick. But like, if you're trying to be mobile and you squid form after cast, which is what you do when you don't want to get hit, smaller hitbox. Every weapon's getting larger hitbox. Okay, basically, what does the hitbox mean? The hitbox changes are so that hitting human form is slightly easier, while squid form is harder to hit with the smaller hitboxes. So it's a method of compensation. They want squid form to be better at evading attacks, right? So they're making kid form is more punishable and squid form is less punishable. They're making the difference between the modes stronger. Weapon shots were also increased and then squid form kid form didn't change. It's technically easier to hit. Yes, exactly. Right? Kid form isn't changed. It's just squid form that's changed. Is that bad for all splatlings? Yes, that's what we talked about at the start of this, right? Any weapon that's standing a lot loses out on it, right? So that's also an indirect nerf to stuff like this, right? Because look how long you are in human form, where you're going to get shot. Yeah, so splatlings, here's the thing though. Yes, splatlings lose out the most on this change, but they benefit the most from aura. Run speed, swim speed, ink res, IA. That's what these weapons want. So splatlings, if they can proc, their ability, is good. Right? So, for example, right? Heavy edit splatling has the cooler. Cooler gets assists. You proc aura, and then when your cooler is down, aura lasts 30 seconds, and you're still fast until you get cooler. And you perma cycle, having IA, run, swim, res, etc., right? You get my point? So these weapons also benefit in that way. Do you know what else can get aura really easily? Nautilus, right? Because we have a lot of assist tools on our toolkit. So it has an easy way to keep it active when it procs it. Heavy's Wavebreaker is another good example, for instance, right? Anything that contributes to getting assists will make it easier to keep aura. What is proc? Like activate. Alright. I am going to now work on getting a main channel video done for this, so that all of this information is summarized with the analysis in a good place. But I'm telling you guys now before the stream ends, guys, the YouTube team is going to be put in... they're going to be put in hell. We have a lot of work to do today. All of us. So we're going to be busy. Please support the patch video upon its official release tomorrow. We are going to do our best to get it out on time tomorrow, so that you guys can get a good analysis in a short period of time. But it will take a lot of work. Please understand. We will do the best we can. Alright. That said, I think that's it for the analysis.